What's up, design family, and welcome back to another episode of Fittdesign TV. So glad to have you guys back on the channel. On today's episode, we'll be looking at the basics of a POS system, specifically a point of sale system. For those of you who are starting your own fashion brands, whether you're an in-store brand, so brick and mortar, or you've gone online, you need to understand the basics of a POS system. On this episode, we'll cover what the basics are, essentially the core components of the life cycle of a POS system, starting from when the customer actually makes a transaction with you to how they check out, how they pay, so on and so forth. So we'll look at the life cycle, and then we'll look at the core components. Then specifically for each of these core components, I'll explain what their importance is in this life cycle and why, and what are the different options essentially you have for each of these core components. So if you've ever been interested to learn more about how to implement an effective POS system that has no frills and gets the job done, can provide you a better quality of customer service, better inventory management, and ultimately a more streamlined solution, well, watch this episode. You're going to find out. What's up, design family, and welcome to Fittdesign TV. So glad to have you here. On this channel, we discuss all things sports fashion, graphic design, manufacturing, and technology. We'll discuss key topics, answer pressing questions, and provide actionable steps on starting your own product line. If you're interested in any of the above topics, stick around. You're in for a good one. Getting right into the episode, let's look at what a POS or a POP actually is. So POS is point of sales, or POP is point of purchase. Both are the same thing and refer to essentially the same thing. When it comes to the point of sales, this is when a customer actually makes a payment to you or to a merchant in exchange for either goods or services. A good quality point of sale system is going to help you streamline your operations, your inventory management, and essentially is going to provide your customer with a great experience that's going to keep them coming back time and time again. So let's get right into it. What is the life cycle, right? What can your customer actually expect when dealing with your POS? What are the basic components of a point of sales? Well, it all starts with your computer, your system itself. Your point of sales is on your local computer, right? Let's just say you're in a retail store or this is your website. From there, you receive the order, right? The order comes into your system. The order can either be through your brick and mortar. Typically, that order is categorized by your checkout cashier actually scanning the barcode of an item that's being checked out. Or on the flip side, let's just say you have an online customer. This would be an online transaction from your customer, so an online order that's made through your website. From there, that data is taken, it's lifted up into the cloud. Depending on what cloud base you're using, this is going to differ, but essentially that data is taken, it's stored in the cloud. And what that helps you do is three key things. Number one, that's going to assist you with inventory management. So when a red performance shirt of a specific type of product is checked out, that inventory is reduced by one, so on and so forth. Also, you're going to be able to store core elements of data on your customers. You're going to know when your customer checked out, how often they purchase with you, how often they actually make transactions, how old they are, where they live, so on and so forth. These key pieces of customer information are crucial towards your marketing efforts down the line. You'll be able to know your customers' preferences, how often they purchase, what they like, what they don't like, what their sizing is, so that you can target them effectively and give them a better overall experience. And lastly, it's going to give you essential key data for your sales reports. As a business, you need to know your numbers consistently. With an effective point of sale system, you're going to be able to track your numbers minute to minute, month to month. Now that the order has been made, right, it's been recorded, it's time to collect payment. Depending on what form of actual transaction you're going, is it online or in store, you're going to have different methods of actually collecting that payment. Let's just say you're in store and the customer is paying with cash. From there, he'll be paying directly to the cash register. The cash register will essentially record the incoming money and will record that as an incoming payment against this specific order. Or let's just say on the flip side, they're paying online or they're paying with a credit card. Specifically, they'll be able to pay with a contactless payment. So using a credit card, tap to pay or swipe to pay. Also, they'll be able to pay with a mobile POS. If you've ever seen them, they're these examples of the Square payment system where you can have a simple POS with a chip reader, and you slide your barcode or you slide your credit card, and that's able to record the payment. You can use this in store, or you can even use it on a pop-up shop, so on and so forth. Also, you're able to use your e-wallet. Let's just say if you've ever been to Starbucks, you've been able to have an e-wallet specifically tied to Starbucks, right? You'll input actual money into your Starbucks e-wallet, and what that does is it allows you to accrue points, it allows you to build up loyalty, it allows you to actually be a part of whatever community you want to be a part of. So an e-wallet is a great way to actually get your customers to spend more money with you and to regain their loyalty and their trust long term. And then lastly, once that payment is collected, whatever way you actually choose to collect it, whether it's cash, whether it's contactless credit card payment, whether it's paying online, whether it's paying with an e-wallet, you collect that money and then you'll issue an invoice or receipt specifically against that order. And what that does is it provides your customer with a proof of purchase, and it allows you to have a finalized invoice with the amount paid against the product received. So when it comes down to the POS system or the software that you're going to specifically want to use for your business, there's no one size fits all solution. Of course, you can go with a traditional POS system, like something that is baked into your Shopify account. It's a very simple option. But if you need something more specialized, you'll need to do the research beforehand in order to determine what the core functionalities are. Even, do you want to have employee tracking on there? Do you want to be able to input hours worked or your payments out to employees? Some POS systems can actually do that and can integrate into your overall POS process. So make sure you understand your core functionalities that you need. Is it just inventory management? Is it sales analysis? Is it customer relationship management or CRM? Is it warehousing? Make sure you put down a list and go for the POS system that actually works for you. Well guys, that's it. That is a wrap on this episode. To recap quickly, on this episode, we looked at the basics of a POS system. We looked at the life cycle from when the order is actually input, whether it's online or in store, how that's stored on the cloud, how that's used for your sales reports, for your customer management, and for your inventory management, and ultimately how you actually collect the cash. So when you scan the barcode and when you input that inventory, how are you collecting that cash? Is it through your cash register as a cash payment receipt, or is it through contactless payments, e-wallets, or is it through credit cards? Making sure that you understand these core components of a POS system is going to give you guys the best possible option to know what option is right for you and what functionalities you need in order to make a right decision. Guys, if you enjoyed this episode, please consider smashing a massive thumbs up. It was a little bit more of a technical one, and I always enjoy doing these little niche experiences for you guys because I know that there's a lack of information about these topics out there. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please consider smashing a massive thumbs up. It really does help us out. It keeps us motivated to keep pumping out this content for you. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to this episode of Fittdesign TV. Until next week's episode, stay awesome.